is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I'm Evidential Medium Stacy Niedenthal, where I come to you every Tuesday at 10:30, and we just sit and we have a chat. There we go. I see it now. Good. Where we just sit and we have a chat. This is not an angel card reading. This is not a mediumship reading. This is just a time for us to get together on Tuesdays at 10:30 and talk about things that maybe you're not comfortable in talking about with other people. Things that have kind of maybe been in your mind where you're like, wonder if anybody else thinks this way. This is that moment in time where we just spend some time together to give you things to think about and to ponder and to maybe bring into light or give you that, oh my gosh, I was just thinking that the other day. Let me just put this on here and then we'll get started. Okay. There we go. So, Father's Day. How was everybody's Father's Day? Did you go outside and spend time in the nice warm sun and just soak up those vitamins and all that warmth? You know, it was a wonderful day. It was an absolutely wonderful day. I've got Shippensburg coming in. Let me know where you're watching from. And if this is the first time you've been on, put a 1 so after I'm finished, I can personally welcome you. Feel free to share the group. Feel free to share to Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. Tuesday Talks at 10:30. It was beautiful, wasn't it? It was absolutely beautiful. So I always like to start with my intention so you know who I am and what I'm about. Of course, this is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I'm Evidential Medium Stacy Niedenthal. I'm a child of God, evidential medium, spiritual healer, and I have the ability to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer, always is that God and spirit and angels bring through the most loving message to help your spirit heal. With Tuesday Talks at 10:30, this is guidance that I've heard from my angels, my guides, my spirit animals, however you want to look at it, but things I feel pulled to speak about. And today we're going to talk about living from the inside out. And I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this saying. I have a mentor of mine who talks about living from the inside out. And he talks about in the morning when you wake up to put your hand on your heart, take a deep breath. And your mantra is, today I will live from the inside out. And it's being vulnerable and walking through the day in love and empathy and emotions and your instincts, instincts, using your intuition to walk through the things that need to be walked through. So this is what I wanted to talk about today. Living from the inside out. We get so caught up in our outside appearance. We get so caught up in what other people think about us. You know, whether it's physical appearances, whether it's possessions, whether it's accomplishments. And what we do is we get stuck in what others think, that we lose who we actually are. It causes chaos around us. It causes kind of like a callus around us. Were you ever told when you were younger that you don't cry in public, or you use a lower voice in public, and all these things that we were brought up and taught kind of put a callus around us, and I want to think about softening that callus. So think about the clothing, our clothing. You don't wear them inside out, you wear them right side out. And if you wore them inside out, it would show the seams, it would show the threads, it would show the maker's mark. If there's any small imperfections, those are always on the inside. It shows, like I said, strings, discoloration. The brighter colors are on the outside, not on the inside. And when you look at the outside of the clothing that you wear, there's fancy stitch work or fancy buttons or embroidery that's on it, because the best side is showing. Isn't that what we've been taught? To bring our best side forward, not the strings that are on the inside or the making of us. So that's how we tend to live our lives, putting our best face forward, our best front forward. We hide traumas. We don't talk about traumas. We don't talk about our past. We keep that all inside of us. That's what's on the inside of us. And we hide those emotions, those seams, those strings, those phrases, those things that we've learned in the past, those things that have made us who we are. So when you think about the clothing, you have the threads that made the material. You have the thread that sews things together. You see those whip stitches. Sometimes when you get an article of clothing, there's extra string that you have to cut off, or there's an uneven seam on the inside of it where it's kind of overlapped. Well, that's no one's seeing that because that's on the inside. But I want you to think about a day that you could be vulnerable enough to live from the inside out, from a place of love and emotion and empathy. A day that is led by loving thoughts. Do you think that your day would be better? Or do you have a fear that you wouldn't be able to do a day like this? I mean, it's putting your vulnerability in the front so that, everybody can see who you are and what you're made of, not what you think other people need to feel that you are made of. Would it be hard for you to find the words or the things to do? Would you be afraid to go outside because everything is showing? Everything about yourself is showing for all public to see it. By definition, living from the inside out means making a choice and taking actions based on your own inner values and beliefs rather than being influenced by what other people think or expect, or what you think they expect of you. So you're in control of this, what you think other people expect of you. So I was reading this book last night after I wrote this, and the book is called Life. It's by Chris Bradley, and there's all different types. It's for living your best life now. It's for management. It's for leadership. But it's thinking about where you are and giving you things to ponder. So I wanted to read to you this, and it's not real long, but I wasn't going to rewrite it. And it's called Take Time. So bear with me. There's a little bit of a glare. Okay. So it says, take time to smell the roses, it has been said. The spirit of the quote is correct. However, I'm not sure about that take time part. If you think about it, there is no such thing as taking time. It just clicks by at a terrifyingly steady pace as we go about our business. Time won't stop, pause, halt, or even slow down. In fact, the older I get, the more I'm convinced that time speeds up. Time itself is almost impossible to define. Perhaps it's a measure of existence from the perspective of how much of this time has already gone by. Nowadays, a year feels like 3 months, in a decade or so. Well, mere minutes, I suspect. I received word yesterday that a business associate passed away suddenly. From the outward appearance, he was otherwise in perfect health, but gone, just like that. I am saddened for the loss felt by the family and friends, and I hope that he knew the Lord Jesus as the Savior on his own. Also, his death caused me to think about a deep question that often hide out in the far extremes of my consciousness. So this is a deep question that death brought to this person. Things like this tragic news seem to chase those thoughts out of my center stage, overpowering this bashful and forcing them, let me read that again. Things like this, tragic news, seem to chase those thoughts out of the center stage, overpowering the bashfulness and forcing them out to be clearly seen. I'm reminded of our mortality, of the brief stopover in life, and the purpose that we are to serve whilst here. Stop, think, pray. Then be about what this is that you have created, what you've been created for. Only you can do what you can do. So stop wasting time arranging, planning, scheming, preparing. Get busy doing. And while you're in it, hug someone that you love and let them know how you feel. Who knows when it might be that last chance. So I thought about what we were talking about, living from the inside out. And then when I read this about taking time, and it's very clear to me when he says, taking time to smell the roses, and he understands the whole concept. He doesn't understand the point of taking time because time just clicks by. And I remember when I was a kid, my parents would say to me, take time and do this, because time flies and it goes by so quickly, and I never believed that as a kid. But the older I get, just like he was saying, time flies. It was just Christmas, and now we're in mid-June. And then when I think about Christmas, I think, oh my gosh, it was just July. Time clicks by so quickly. And if we miss this time to live from the inside out, to show our emotions, to show our love, it may be the last time. You don't know how many clients come in and they'll say to me, oh, if I would have known that would have been the last conversation that I had with my mother, my friend, whomever it may be, I would have made it more important. Well, why wait until you know it's going to be your last conversation? Make all of those conversations important. Take the time. Make time to do this. So, when you think about living from the inside out, how do we do that? Well, first you have to have confidence to acknowledge your beliefs. What do you believe in? What makes you tick? What experiences do you have that have made you the person that you are and that have grown these beliefs? What are your priorities? And what is most important in your life? Find the things that you enjoy and spend time doing them. Now, that doesn't mean that you can just schlep off life, that you can just not work because I just want to, be in a swimming pool all day long. But it's talking about what is important in your life. Are you making time for that? My day timer is with me all the time. But I have to take time for what's important. I can't just constantly work, even though that's who I am. I have to take time because otherwise I'm going to miss important events with my husband or with my children or with my grandchildren or with friends. Right? So, figuring out what's important. Okay? Spending time doing that. Figuring out what interrupts your ability to find your inner strength. What interrupts your inner strength? Inner strength is not taught or learned. It comes naturally to you. Fear. That's what's taught. That's what's learned. We fear not being good enough. We fear not succeeding in things. But inner strength overpowers that. It's a deep look into yourself. Finding our soul purpose, not just for the world, but for ourselves. What is our legacy? What do we want to represent in this world that is genuine to us? Not what we think our parents or our friends expect. What is genuine to us? Where is our passion? How can we show this? This is where our soul purpose is, what we feel drawn to do. not what we were taught to do. Be truthful with yourself. I mean, that's so important. We tell ourselves, I can't, I don't have time, I'm not smart enough. But be truthful with yourself. When my kids or friends or whoever come to me with a problem, even if I don't know the solution, I'll say to them, you know what, we'll figure this out. So it's sitting down and figuring it out. It's allowing yourself that pause, that time to do that inner search within yourself and say, what is the solution? So, as kids, we were taught to be seen and not heard, to not cry in public. We were taught certain things that were respect. But someone was quieting your voice, and it is time for you to not quiet your voice and your thought process in a respectful way, in a way that makes you happy, right? Our voices, like I said, our voices were muffled at a young age, but it was to be polite, to listen to others, to allow yourself to absorb the things of the world, process them, and then respond to them. Telling the truth as kindly as possible. Truth was always a big thing for my kids. Tell me the truth. If you did something wrong, if you are truthful about what happened, the punishment may not be as severe. Or help me to understand why you did this. So it's being truthful with yourself and with others that are around you. Politely truthful. It doesn't mean if you see someone in an outfit that you say, pick a better outfit. If they're a friend of yours, you may want to say, do you have something else that you could wear? You know what I mean? It's being lovingly truthful with yourself and with others that are around you. Now is the time to respectfully use your voice. Has your voice been blocked? Do others talk over you? Do you have an idea that other people take from you? Think about these things. We need to put ourselves first, from the inside out, with kindness. And if we are kind to ourselves, then we are putting others first because of our kindness. Does that make sense? If you're kind to yourself, then you put others first because you are being kind. And I know it is so difficult to do that because the world is not always kind to us. The world can be a very tumultuous place. But if you allow yourself to check out the tribe that you hang out with, the energy that's around you, and put the callus up from negative energy, and be kind and show kindness and be kind to yourself, it'll make a difference. Just stop and pause and ask yourself what you really think about things. What do you really think about what's going on in the world? Do you want to know or do you want to hide? Do you want to take action or do you want to sit? It's your choice. But do it from the loving center within yourself. Sometimes the answers need to be no. If someone asks you to do something and you don't agree with it, you can say, no, it's not my gig. Not doing that today. Thank you, but no thank you. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes. Maybe somebody comes to you with a project and you're not really sure if you can figure out how to do it, but it appeals to you. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. You know what? Maybe say, I'd like to help. I'm not really sure if I can, how much help I can be, but I would like to be involved. And it's taking that step, allowing yourself to be truthful. Oh, I feel a pull that I need to help with this, but I don't really know how to do it. I'm not going to be the first at the line and take the charge, but I'll be with you as you take this. And as things come to me that I can help with, I'm right there. And the opposite is true. Someone comes to you with something that you don't believe in. Just because they are who they are. I have a group of friends that I've kind of pulled away from a little bit. But because of one person has a certain idea, everybody else follows them. And if you don't agree with that idea, then you're kind of badgered and not really picked on, but what's the word? It's almost like you're being trapped, where they'll say certain things to get a rise out of you. I don't need that anymore. So I've backed away from that group. And it's been a group that I was a part of for a very long time. But I don't antagonize, if that was the word. I don't need to be antagonized. I don't want my mind to be changed. I will listen to your suggestions, but if I don't agree with it, don't think lesser of me. Listen to what my opinion is on it. So it's observing your own motions and movements, how things feel, observing yourself. How do you react or respond to others? And, pay attention to your body. This is mindfulness. If somebody says something and you kind of like, ooh, that's a what do you want to call it? An unconscious reaction. Your body just reacts. Subconsciously, you respond to things. Okay? So take notice on how you react or you respond to something. Hold on. There we go. Become your best self for you. Not for other people, but for yourself. Have that spiritual awakening within yourself. Like yourself. Know that you can do things like no one else can do them, because it is genuinely you. Strive to be your best. Life can help you grow, or it can stunt your growth. You have the choice. Do you want to grow, or do you want your life to be stunted? For a very, very long time, certain things that I was told as a child would resonate through my head for a long time. And it caused some depression and some anxiety. And what I learned was depression and anxiety is fear or anger that's bottled up, that you hold within yourself, that you feel guilty about, that you take responsibility for, even if it is not your responsibility. And I learned what was mine and what was not mine. I learned what I wanted to accept and what I did not want to accept. I learned what I wanted to release and what I wanted to keep. Hard learning lessons. So, you've heard the term, that your life is turned inside out or upside down. If your life is turned upside down, everything is a mess. Think about it. If you had the ability to take your house that's on the foundation and put it on like the super duper looper where it would go full circle, what would your house look like when you walked into it after it was turned over? It would be a mess. Is your house a mess? Are you turned upside down? Go deep within. What was that cause? You've heard me say 100 times before, roll the tapes back. When did this first happen to you? And an instance, a scene will come to your head, a voice will come to your head of when you were first told you weren't good enough, or you can't do this, or you should do this. I remember, this is funny. I remember when I was a kid and we were going to school, and I think it was in 9th grade, we had to choose business courses that we wanted to go to. And I remember my mom saying, you should take shorthand and typing because you're going to be a secretary. All women are secretaries. And I thought, I don't want to be a secretary. I want to be a boss. Like I had these higher expectations. I remember her saying to me when my first husband, married twice, my first husband and I got divorced and I was dating. I remember my mom saying to me, you're being too picky. You just need to find someone that you can settle down with and will take care of you. I didn't want someone to take care of me. How can you be too picky about your life partner? And thank God I was picky, because I've got the greatest man in the world as a husband. But it's taking those things that we heard when we were kids, or when, certain jobs that maybe we were in. Yes, I was a secretary for a while, and then I was this, and then I was this, and then until I got to who I am today. And these were all learning experiences. Would I have been able to write my book if I didn't know how to type? Probably. It would have been handwritten, and then someone else would have had to type it. But I did take advice from my mom. I did take typing. I didn't take shorthand. I didn't quite understand all of that. I had a hard time with the concept of someone talking to me and me writing what they were saying, when they could just put it in a little tape recorder and I could listen to it and type it. But that was my rebelliousness. So kind of got off kilter there. So living from the inside out brings balance. And it brings balance because you are okay with your imperfections, your quirkiness, your shortcomings, the things that you have learned. There's outside thinking, right? That makes small issues large. And when that outside thinking starts to roll around in your head, pause for a moment, weigh your options, explore the solutions, and then take action. Because if you don't take action, it weighs down within yourself. Stop worrying about what other people will think. You were perfectly made. You were perfectly created to be your original self, to be who you are, not who other people are. Kids in school, when I was in school, everybody wore jeans and a band t-shirt. Every once in a while I would wear a funky outfit and I would hear about it. But, it's being authentic to yourself. Not everybody agrees with my tattoos. Not everybody agrees with what I do for a living. I'm not here to please everyone. I'm here to be my own original self, to be of service to the world in the way that I feel drawn to be of service, through kindness, through caring, through healing, through service. So, committing time, I kind of get off kilter a little bit. So it's committing time to find the solution. Healing from the inside out. Sometimes we need to heal to learn, to get unstuck. It is believing in ourselves, believing and making the decision to face the situation, not hide from it. To walk through it gently, to learn, to grow, to divide and conquer the outside world. All of this is heart-centered. It's heart-centered around your heart, in love and in faith that all things will turn out with the best intentions. That's heart-centered. It's changing the way you think sometimes, or how you respond and react. Instead of confusion, there will be understanding. Instead of pain, there will be healing. Instead of anger, there will be peace. May seem impossible. But it all starts with you. It all starts with me. It all starts one moment at a time, searching for peace, searching for understanding, being okay with who you are, using gentle words and compassion, dignity, integrity. What we thrive, what we want the world to be. It's being that authentic person when no one is watching, because everybody is watching. What would the world look like? What would your world look like if you woke up and said this? What if you woke up with a smile on your face, knowing everything was going to be okay? What a wonderful world we would live in. Practicing this one moment at a time, one person at a time, the entire world will not change. But your world around you could change. We spoke last week about the law of attraction. Okay? We talked about the vision boards. I did my vision board. I posted it on Facebook. I want to see what your vision boards look like. So we talked about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is positive thoughts and actions lead to positive outcomes. Okay? So when you think about the law of attraction, and with the law of attraction, it's setting intentions out, it's expecting things, it's standing firm in things. So when you ask the universe for what you want, follow it up by saying, what could I do to better the world around me? When you believe that you will receive what you have asked for, show gratitude. Share your abundance when you receive it. When you are clear on the purpose of what you want, be sure it is for your higher good, not for your ego, for your higher good. When you visualize your success, visualize other people's success as well. Those people that are around you, those people that help you to achieve what you're looking for. When you take action, make it positive action. Do what needs to be done for the higher good and for the higher good of others. Don't pull the rug out from underneath someone else so that you can grow in a company. When I was a manager years ago, and I was showing the people who were directly under me like what my job was, I remember my one employee said, when you do this, aren't you working yourself out of a job? And I basically said to them, I am teaching you how to do my job so that I can grow and do another job. So I was taking action in a positive way. I wasn't in fear that someone was going to take my job. I wanted to teach others what I did so that I could expand and grow. Do what needs to be done for the higher good and the higher good of others. Intentional communication. Speak clearly in faith and complete it. Don't just speak it. Complete it. See it through. God won't give you something. He won't do something for you that He can do through you. So, when I'm talking about living from the inside out, I'm hoping that this all makes sense to you, because to me it feels like, man, this is a home run with this. I challenge you tomorrow, or even today if you want to, put your hands on your heart center and take a deep breath. And say to yourself, today I will live from the inside out. Practice this exercise for a week, for a month. Journal how your life has changed. I guarantee you things will change around you. When you feel good about yourself, others feel good about you. The universe knows that you are ready for abundance when you invite abundance in. But if you invite abundance in for your ego, it takes away everything. We've talked before. I love donating to certain things without anyone knowing about it. And I will say to certain organizations, if you mention my name, I won't donate again. This is just out of the goodness of my heart. This is where I feel drawn to do. I don't want recognition for those things. I just want to help better the world. Does that make sense? People will say, on social media, oh, there was a woman in front of me who couldn't afford her groceries, so I paid for them. You just took away that blessing from that woman. Even though you didn't say her name, you took away from it. Now, other side, that woman may say to the woman or to the man who was behind me in the grocery line, Thank you so much for paying for my groceries. I forgot my debit card, whatever the situation is. But thank you for blessing me. It's paying it forward. It's doing things in the universe from the inside out, from a place of love and compassion and kindness. You're fulfilling other people's needs without even knowing it. You're touching other people's lives without even knowing it. I have people a good bit of the time who will say to me, "Oh, I watch your Tuesday Talks at 10:30 and it was exactly what I needed to hear." That's why I do this. I come live every Tuesday at 10:30 and tell you what my thoughts are that I was given the night before to talk about. Standing firm in knowing that someone needed to hear what I have to say. When I think about it, in essence, it sounds funny to me, because who the heck wants to listen to what I have to say? What am I an authority on? See, that's that thinking that I was taught. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a PhD. I have no, what do you want to call it, diplomas of college or of counseling or anything. What I have is a connection to spirit, to my guides, a connection that I feel that God gives me certain things to say because of the tribe that I'm around needs touched from my experiences. And I don't want to say that from a self-centered area. I truly want to make this world a better place. One person at a time, one moment at a time. Help heal the world. Help let people know that they're not alone. Help you to know your original person is awesome. Don't hide it. Try not to be caught up in the things that maybe you were taught of only to be seen and not heard. Speak your truth. Be honest with yourself. But when you do this, where you do this heart-centered exercise, today I'm going to live from the inside out, and do it for a week and journal about it. Do it for a month. Journal about it. Do it for 2 months. Journal about it. And after you continually do this, and maybe you don't want to totally journal about every single thing, but when you have those aha moments, make a note of it. And then when you've done this for several months, maybe a year, go back to the beginning of that journal and see where you were at that time and where you are now. How did you feel about yourself then? How do you feel about yourself now? Once I connected with spirit and opened up to it and allowed the people around me to know that I was an evidential medium, all of a sudden I was comfortable in my own skin. I wasn't hiding it any longer. Okay? So when you journal it, and then you take a look back, and you see all the things, it's that law of attraction. Hold on, un momento. The law of attraction. Positive thoughts and actions lead to positive outcomes. Will there be stumbling blocks? Absolutely. That's life. But you figure it out. You go back to center. You go back to the heart center. You take a pause, meditate, pray, take action. Talk truthfully with yourself and take action. Maybe you need to apologize to someone. But you're taking action to make yourself comfortable in your own skin, to live from the heart center, to show kindness to others, and to make the world around you a better place. And when you live from the inside out, it could help you to live the life you love and love the life you live. Because if you don't love it, you're the only one that can change it. It is 11:11. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I'm Evidential Medium Stacy Niedenthal. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next Tuesday at 10:30. If there's anything in particular you want me to talk about, message me. put it in the notes. But I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Look under my events calendar if you are interested in a reading or attending a group. But today and every day, live from here, from the inside out. All right, guys. Have a good day. I will talk to you very soon. I love you. And see you Tuesday. All right. Bye-bye.